everybody, it's Kayla from Kayla Crochet Love, and today I am doing something a little different. I'm recording this the same day as my episode, actually, but on said episode I mentioned about the Flash Your Stash tag that Terry from Yarnjoy Podcast and I'm just looking at my phone here, I have it up, and Petra put together. So it's kind of like a tag video, kind of not, I'm probably not going to tag anyone, but if you're feeling up to it, I invite you to do it too. I just think it's fun. So for this, they have 5 questions for you, and you answer the 5 questions, and then you can show your stash. So I'm going to show my stash. I'm going to kind of do a little craft room tour somewhat. It's kind of still messy. I organized it a little bit, but you guys will see. My craft room is not very big, so I just thought it'd be fun. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first question, so I just have it up on my phone here. The first question is, what do you like to store your yarn in? So one of my favorite things to store my yarn in actually is, they're like closet organizers. I think they're meant for shoes, and I will show, you guys will see them after. And actually Terry from, I'm pretty sure, from the Yarnjoy Podcast, I'm pretty sure she uses them too. Mine's set up a little bit differently, but I like using the shoe organizers and the closet organizers because it fits the skeins really nicely. And one thing I like about it is I can see it. So I find when I'm using totes, I forget about the yarn that's in there. I do have totes. Again, you'll see. And I do keep yarn in them, but that's more the yarn that I have on hand just because. But my favorite way to store my yarn is in my shoe/closet organizers. So question number 2 is, do you sort it by brand, color, weight, or content? So for that, I kind of sort by brand in a way, and by weight. So it really depends though. Like I said, I'm not very organized. I'm not so organized in that sense. I also try to keep it per fiber content, and I'll explain that after when I turn my camera around to show you guys. So it's really kind of hard for me to explain. So I like to keep the stuff that I buy from local yarn stores together. I like to keep my cakes together in a way, and I like to keep like my variegateds together. So I'll show you guys that like I said, when I turn around. Question number 3 is, do you like to keep basic colors or brands of yarn on hand, or do you only buy yarn with a particular project in mind? So for that, I'm kind of half and half. So the one tote I have has a lot of solid colors. When I first started getting back into crocheting, I was doing a lot of amigurumi. So a lot of those colors is from my amigurumi. I still do like to make amigurumi, I just haven't been doing it as much. I really like to keep black, white, and a kind of brown on hand. I like having black and white because it goes with everything. And the brown, there's a certain teddy bear pattern that I like to make, so if someone in my family's having a baby, I tend to make them a little bear. So I usually tend to have those 3 on hand. Sorry. As for brands, I'm not really picky on brands. I don't really keep a specific brand on hand. For my amigurumis and stuff, I tend to use Red Heart Super Saver or Bernat. That's just usually what my Walmart has, so that's usually what I'll use. And I find nowadays I tend to only buy yarn when I have a project in mind, or I should say I'm trying to only buy yarn when I have a certain project in mind. Excuse me. I've been pretty good lately. I haven't been just buying it because I think it's pretty. I used to do that a lot, and some of the yarns I have were from that. If I remember, I'll try and explain those as I go too, but I've been pretty good lately. So, where do you store your scraps, and what are things you use them for? So my scraps are kind of stored everywhere. I have a basket right over here, and I'll show you guys that after. I have some in my living room. I have an organizer in my living room too. It's just a little, like one of those wheelie things with drawers. So when I'm working on a project, I just throw it in there. That way I don't have to keep coming in my craft room. And I have some scraps in there too. I also have in a wardrobe over here, which you guys will be seeing, I have some bags with some scraps in it as well. I actually have an idea for those scraps. What I would like to do is I'd like to tie them together using the magic knot thing, and I'd like to make cakes, and then just when I'm feeling up to it, just kind of work on a blanket or something. So it'll be like a scrap blanket, but they'll be in cakes, so I don't have to keep attaching them as I go, and I can make colors work together and whatnot. So that's what I have planned for my scraps. Do you inventory your yarn? If so, how? No, I don't inventory my yarn. Yeah, I just don't, because I find, like, I always thought I had a really big stash of yarn. But as I go through stuff, I come to realize, although I do have a lot, I'm not gonna lie, I have more than enough. I don't have so much that I have to keep an inventory of what I have. I'm pretty good at remembering what I have too. Other than like colors, like plain colors, I'm very much into the variegated and self-striping yarns. So yeah, I don't keep track of them. I know some people do that on, I think, Ravelry. You can do that. I'm not into that part of Ravelry. I like making friends and the groups and everything, but yeah, I'm not into going through all my yarn and keeping an inventory of it. That's just, it's not really my thing. So yeah, that's the 5 questions. So I will turn my camera around and I will share with you my craft room and how I store my yarn. So I have to apologize if I'm a little shaky as well. I'm not used to handling a camera like this anymore. So I'll show you my shoe organizer first. So this is how I have it set up. So right when I walk in my craft room, this is pretty much what I see. So these small ones here are the shoe organizers, and this one's just a closet organizer I bought at Len's Mills. So, and I like them because you can keep stuff pretty deep. I have some projects that I've done draped on here. I have a shawl, I have this. I have 2 Caron cupcakes up there because I'm not sure when I'm going to work with those. So I'll try and pull that aside without my blanket falling. So I have 2 of the smaller ones and 1 large one in the middle, and what they're actually sitting on is like a coat rack. So you can pull that out, and it's to hang clothes and stuff. I think my I think we had, when my nephew and my brother and his wife, they all lived here, we had it for his room, but it had been just sitting around, so I thought that it'd be a good idea to put my yarn in. And it's nice, I like to be able to see my yarn like this. So, the way I have this kind of organized, so I have my fingering weight yarns up here, so even like my little scraps, my little scraps of fingering weight and sock weight yarns. So these are like I like to call these like my special yarns, especially these 5 down here. Those are my special pretty ones that I have yet to use. Down here, other than this one and this one, I like to keep the yarns I buy from my local yarn store over here. Because these are the yarns I like to use a lot. Like my Malabrigo, I have my Sheepies, my Estelle. So these 2 are just 2 that I threw in here. This is from a yarn store. I bought this at a fiber festival though. And right beside it over here is my alpaca yarn. So this one I bought at the local yarn store. And this one I bought, or I didn't buy, I got this one as a gift from my swap buddy. I try not to keep scraps in here. Like I have a couple up here, but there's quite a bit in there too. This is kind of a scrap, but I caked it up and kept the label. So this shelf is kind of like, I kind of tried to keep some of my Care-On yarn, except for my sugar and cream in there. I have a big cake down there. So yeah, it's not really specifically organized. It's just, I like to keep my pretty yarns, although you can tell that some of these skeins are coming apart here. I like to keep my colorful yarns on here, I find, like my really variegated and stuff. So you can, when I walk in, I can see it and it makes me happy. That little basket down there is actually stuff I was going through for my grandma, because she's starting to crochet and knit, and these are all yarns that I haven't really been using. So like these 2 I got a few months ago, and I still have 4, so I'm giving her a couple, giving her my velvet, yeah, just stuff like that. So that little basket's just for my grandma, and I just put it in there for now. Over this way, I'm not going to show you over there, that's just kind of a pile of stuff. In my craft room, that door there has our water pump, because we live out in the country, we need a water pump. So that's what that is, and we have a closet over here, which has a mirror, sorry, I'm in my pajamas, has our electrical panel in it, so, yeah. So that's my, like, main organizer. And then I have this big wardrobe. I don't even know if I can get the whole thing. So I have this big wardrobe over here. And this half I keep yarn in. That half is just for other junk. So on this half, these are my totes. The bottom shelf is kind of a mess. That's just random craft stuff that I have. So like I have a bunch of bags of safety buys in there for my amigurumi. I have fabric paint, beads, and whatnot. That box there has my tools and stuff for when I make my stitch markers. I'll show you. So it has some beads, and my parents got me some little tools for Christmas. So that's what I keep in there. I'm all about reusing the shoe boxes and stuff too. And then I don't really know what's over there. And then up top, so you'll see that it says whites, blacks, browns, and grays, and colors. I don't really do that. I had been, before I got the shoe rack thing, I had been organizing them that way, but now they're just kind of all in there. So I have some Bernat stripes up here. This has just some fabric and some more scraps in there, like my fur yarn, and that's the leftovers from my Cuddle and Play cow blanket. These are crochet hooks. I have some crochet hooks in here, here, and here. That's a glue gun. Sorry. Keep feeling like I'm gonna sneeze. I have some pom-poms, some scissors. So this bin is where I tend to keep my Bernat and Red Heart. So there's a whole bunch of different colors in there. So yeah, that's where I keep that. I'm not going to go through it all. And it's pretty full. As you can see, I have a hard time closing it. This one, so there's some more Red Heart in there. I don't know if I have, oh, there we go, I have a light. I have some latte cakes in there, and just some scrappy yarn, some more Super Saver. So, this is where I tend to keep the yarn that I don't really have plans for right now, although some of the stuff on my shoe rack is like that too. So yeah, that's that. Okay, so that's in that part of the wardrobe. And then there's some drawers down here. The drawers are kind of broken though. These are just bags I have some projects in right now. I don't think I have anything in there. No, that's just, I don't even know what that is. So I have some baby yarns down here that were passed down to me from an elderly lady we used to take care of. I don't really use the baby yarn, but I don't want to get rid of it because I know I can use it down the road, but it's also more sentimental for me. So there's that. These drawers are kind of hard to get into, but I can kind of show you. So I have some more yarns in there that are just kind of floating around, some crochet thread. Over here is a bag of scraps. See, my drawers are broken. And then some more scrappy yarn in here. I have a bunch of this yarn, again, from that old lady friend. She had been making a blanket, and I had intentions on finishing it. I just haven't yet. So yeah, a lot of scraps and little balls like that. Ugh, it's broken. So that's pretty much where I keep my yarn. So I'm just going to kind of give you a rest of the tour of my room. Oh, before I forget, my other scraps I keep in here. Just a little basket over by where I record my podcast. Yeah, there's just some little scrappies in there, so I just keep them there. So I kind of like the look of them in the basket. So for the rest of the tour, this is where I record my tutorials and where I wind my hanks. I have my little yarn swift here and my ball winder. I tend to record more over here because I have this cool light that you can pull down, whoops, and turn on so it's brighter. That's my little llama thing that I was going to maybe make this afternoon. I don't know yet. This is my little corner here where I do my podcasting. That's where my camera sits. And then there's all my stuff over here. So I keep some of my pattern books down here. Just some fun ones that I found. I have room down here I could put more yarn, but there's nothing there right now. This is my this rocking chair belonged to my grandfather, and I want to refinish it. We started sanding it, but I want to refinish it and make it look really nice again. So yeah, these are just some of my props. I did that painting a few years ago. It's actually not even done, but I just hung it up for fun. I have some stickers, another drawing I did, just some random stuff that I kind of set up. My mom got me those for Valentine's Day. Little heart pillow. So over here, that bin there, that's where I put my finished objects. So when I'm doing my podcasts, I know whatever's in there is what's a finished object. And then I put my works in progress up here, if I need a drink and whatnot. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I keep my Tunisian hooks in here along with some squares that I had been making years ago. I don't even know why I still have them. Little bowl that my friend gave me, some more yarn. I just like these ones, so I just keep them here. I don't really know what I'm going to do with them. That was part of my Halloween costume. Yeah. And my sewing machine's back there. I used to sew all the time. I still do make some stuff. I make liners for our guinea pigs cage instead of using wood shavings. So I just keep my sewing machine there. And yeah. That's pretty much my craft room and how I organize my yarn. So yeah, just a little room, but it's my happy place. Yep. Nice little space and the mess over there. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and I encourage you to flash your stash. And I will talk to you guys later. Bye, guys.